Let's talk about something that keeps a lot of people up at night in the pharmaceutical industry: FDI inspections. Today we're going to break down what it really takes to be ready. And believe me, this isn't just about ticking a compliance box, it's about survival.
Okay, just imagine this for a second. An FDI inspector walks through your front door. Tomorrow. No warning. Are you ready? Is your team ready? This isn't just some hypothetical fire drill, you know? For a lot of companies, this is a very, very real scenario. Because here's the thing, an FDA inspection is so much more than a simple audit. You've got to think of it as the ultimate test. It's a test of your quality, your compliance, and maybe most importantly, public trust. We're talking about something that can literally define your company's future. The stakes? Yeah, they really couldn't be any higher. So, let's get on the same page. What are we really talking about here? At its heart, an FDA inspection is a deep dive. The inspector is there to see if your facility is playing by all the rules. All those regulations designed to make sure that products are safe and that they actually do what they're supposed to do. You're going to hear this acronym CGMP all the time. The easiest way to think about it is as the official rule book for manufacturing. It's all about ensuring every single batch of a product is made and controlled to the exact same high-quality standards every single time. And that little C for current, that's crucial. It means the rules are always evolving, so you have to stay on your toes.
And what happens if things don't go so well? Well, then you get one of these, a Form FDA 483. This is basically the inspector's final report card, and it lists every single observation where you fell short of the regulations. Let me tell you, this is the one piece of paper everyone in the industry works to avoid.
Look, to get ready, you have to learn to think like an inspector. You need to see your own facility through their eyes. So where do they focus? What are they really looking for? Let's dive into the 6 key areas that are always under the microscope.
First up is your quality management system, the QMS. This is pretty much the brain of your whole operation. Inspectors aren't just looking for isolated problems. They're looking for patterns. Do you identify issues, investigate them, and truly fix them for good? Or do the same problems just keep popping up over and over? That's the difference between a learning organization and one that's just constantly putting out fires.
Next up, area number 2, documentation. And the rule here is simple, but it is everything. If it wasn't documented, it didn't happen, period. Inspectors will pore over your records, from batch records to your standard operating procedures, your SOPs. And it's not just about having data, it's about its integrity. And this is all governed by a core principle we're about to break down called ALCOA+. So this is ALCOA+. It's the gold standard for data integrity. And it's built on simple, powerful questions. Is the data attributable? Can we tell who did what and when? Is it legible? Contemporaneous? Was it recorded in real time? Is it the original record? And is it accurate? And that little plus at the end, that means it also has to be complete, consistent, enduring, and available. If you get this right, you build an unbreakable foundation of trust with the inspector. Now, let's take those principles out onto the production floor. This is Area 3, manufacturing operations. What the inspector does here is basically a giant matching game. Does what's happening on the floor actually match what's written in the procedure binder? Every single time those two things don't line up, that's a potential red flag.
Area 4 is the physical environment itself. The state of your facility and your equipment sends a really powerful message. Poor maintenance, dust, disorganization, that can suggest a weak quality system before the inspector even looks at a single piece of paper. It's all about making a good first impression.
The 5th area is the human element.
An inspector knows that training records are just one piece of the puzzle. They're going to go talk to your staff on the floor. They want to see if the training is just theory or if people truly understand it and apply it every day. They're really trying to answer one question. Do your people know why they do what they do?
And finally, we land in the lab. Your quality control lab is the final gatekeeper of quality. So an inspector needs to be absolutely certain that your testing methods are reliable, your instruments are accurate, and that you have a rock-solid process for investigating any results that fall out of specification.
Okay, so now we know what the inspector's looking for. The big question is, how do you build a system that can stand up to that kind of scrutiny? Well, it's not about a last-minute scramble. It's about having a systematic approach. So here is your 8-step readiness playbook.
The playbook really starts with being proactive. Number 1, conduct your own tough internal audits to find the gaps before the FDA does. 2, keep all your documentation current. Treat it like a living system, not a dusty library. 3, improve your data integrity, maybe with electronic systems that have good controls. And 4, maintain a bulletproof schedule and records for all your equipment.
All right, next, you empower your people. Number 5, train them continuously and use things like mock interviews so they feel confident. 6, make sure your corrective action system actually gets to the root cause and solves problems permanently. 7, prepare your staff on how to interact with an inspector. Be honest, be accurate, be professional. And 8, never, ever underestimate the power of a clean, organized facility. It sets the tone for everything.
Now, even with the best plans in the world, companies can fall into some really common traps. Knowing what these are is half the battle. So let's look at the most frequent reasons companies end up with those dreaded 483 observations.
Are you seeing a pattern here? These common findings, bad records, data integrity gaps, shallow investigations, they map directly back to the key areas we just talked about. And you have to understand, these aren't just minor slip-ups to an inspector. They see them as fundamental failures of the entire quality system. And this brings us to a really crucial point. You can have all the right systems and procedures, but if you're only focused on passing the next inspection, you're totally missing the bigger picture. True readiness isn't a project, it's a culture. So what does a real quality culture actually look like? Well, it's a place where people follow procedures not because they have to, but because they understand why it matters. It's an environment where issues get reported openly, without fear. The ultimate goal is to be in a state of continuous inspection readiness, where an inspector arriving tomorrow isn't a crisis. It's just another day at the office.
This quote just brings the whole idea home. Being prepared for inspection is not a single event. It is a constant commitment to quality and compliance. It's not about cramming for a test, it's the result of a daily, unwavering commitment that's embedded in everything your organization does.
So as we wrap up, the final question I want to leave you with isn't about your binders or your SOPs. It's about your people. Your systems might be compliant, sure, but is your culture committed? Because that, right there, is the true difference between simply passing an inspection and genuinely building a world-class culture of